Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by Lock City. Today's episode, we are back with another UFC fight night. But as everyone should know by now, and if you don't, I'm going to tell you 70% off your first 3 months of Lock City. All you have to do is head to lockcity.gg, click join now, and use code SPRINGFEVER at checkout to apply the 70% discount code, which is applicable to our weekly and monthly subscription packages. I also want to briefly mention that if you want some of the best odds, as you all should know by now, the best odds in the industry, then you're going to want to head to thunderpick.io. You can use our promo link, tinyurl.com/LCThunder to get a 100% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $600. Yes, you heard that right, $600. ThunderPick accepts most cryptocurrencies for deposit, and you can now also deposit using a credit card or a Visa debit. Very convenient if you ask me. All right. Enough promo time. Let's dive into this card. As always, I got my good friend Wighty here. Wighty, brother, how has your day been so far?
It's been good, bro. I was looking over these fights a little bit more earlier. I had some leans earlier in the week and made a couple of changes earlier today. So excited to get into it and curious to see who you have. I know the public's pretty split on a lot of these.
Yeah, I'd say so. How you feeling so far looking at the card? You like it or what?
Yeah, I like it. I think we're in for some exciting fights. I like that it's going to be a little bit earlier in the day for us to enjoy. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, we won't have to stay up too late till 1 a.m. Eastern and feel it the next morning. All right, let's get into this card. Definitely a good card. I'd have to agree with what you said there. Making up for the past 2 weeks, which haven't been too terrible, but not as good as what we're used to. The first fight we got Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Charriere. It's the first fight on our main card. So Nathaniel's coming into this one with a record of 26-0. He's 8-3 in the UFC. He is coming off a win in his last, and he was on a nice 3-fight win streak in the UFC before losing to Naimov. 13 of his wins come from finish. 8 of them are coming from KO or TKO. Morgan is coming into this one with a record of 20-10-1. He is 2-1 in the UFC. He's coming off a nice KO win in his last fight. In fact, 15 of his wins come from finish, with 12 of them being from KO or TKO. Quite the finisher, you could say. Quite the finisher. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think this fight probably depends a lot on who is able to maintain their pace of fighting. I think Nathaniel Wood is more technical, doesn't generate a whole lot of power, and relies on like more precise striking to be able to do damage. I think Charriere is live here on the money line, though. He's 2 years younger than Wood. He's got a bit of size on him, I think like 2 inches in height. And this is going to be his 32nd pro fight at only 29 years old. So I think if he's able to turn this into a little bit more of a brawl. He's going to be able to outwork Wood and probably find better shots over the course of 3 rounds to win a decision. What scares me about this is Charriere was like plus 205 at open, but he swung down to like minus 180 on most books. So I
Hmm.
think it's a good parlay piece, but it's not one of my favorite fights on the card. I'm going to go Charriere money line.
Yeah, I think personally it's a pretty 50-50 matchup. Morgan holds the advantage in height and reach. Nathaniel's 2 years older. As you said, he's 31. Morgan's 29 with quite a good deal of professional fights under his belt. I mean, both of them can get it done on the feet. They can both get it done on the ground. They've shown they can both bring it to the scorecards and take a win. Like I said, I think it's pretty 50-50. I'm pretty undecided. I'm pretty undecided still on this one. I know I told you that earlier, and still even right now. What I can say is we should be in store for an entertaining fight. Not my favorite, but should still be pretty entertaining. I don't know. I'm undecided. I'm leaning a bit more towards Morgan, but still undecided. If you guys want to know my picks, you know where to find them, man. Lockcity.gg, join the Discord.
Yep, I like it. I think England's a little bit less of a place for like I don't know, when there's fights in Abu Dhabi, like all of the Muslim guys or the guys from Abu Dhabi or at least the area, they always win. But you don't really see that as much in England, so I don't know. I'm more inclined to pick Sharia here.
I'm leaning towards him, and I have been since I was looking at this fight, but I'm still a bit undecided. I got to do a little bit more research on that one before I give my concrete pick. All right. moving on to the second fight of the main card, we have Jordan Vucenic and Chris Duncan. So Jordan's coming into this one with a record of 13-3-0. He's 0-1 in the UFC, looking to get his first UFC victory, and it just so happened to be in his homeland of England with a hometown crowd. 8 of his 13 wins come from finish, with 6 by submission. Chris Duncan is coming into this one with a record of 12-2-0. He's 3-1 in the UFC. He's coming off a nice guillotine choke win in his last. 9 of his 12 wins come from finish, with 7 of them coming from KO or TKO. Looking at the tail of the tape, it's pretty damn even. Jordan has a slight reach advantage. I think I'm sitting with Jordan on this one. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why right now. He needs his first win badly. And what better way to do it in your home country with a hometown crowd absolutely losing their minds, screaming, trying to set the nerves into his opponent.
Yeah, I like it. I think the odds on this one suck. Like, he's what, minus 400 almost
400,
now,
yeah.
but I do think Vucenic wins this fight. Both of their guys, like, overall have won 4 of their last 5, but I think Vucenic's going to be faster and stand up. Probably both more careful and more crafty on the ground, and both of these guys are like basically on home turf. But Duncan's from Scotland, and England is England. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think Vucenic, like you said, in front of the home crowd. I see maybe a submission win here. I don't think a decision's obviously out of the question, but with that money line being minus 400 or 1.25, you're not getting great value. The submission is plus 225, which is like a pretty good spread. All of the victory methods have pretty good odds on them. Like, the books even are pretty split. So I don't think it's a bad idea to play it maybe half a unit on the submission. But yeah, money line as a parlay piece.
I'd agree with you on both money line as a parlay piece and playing the submission. I personally think Jordan's going to end up taking it to the ground and most likely going for a submission, as Chris Duncan is more so, if he goes for a finish, majority is coming from knockout, right? He likes to go for the knockout. Yeah, I'm
Yep,
sticking with my gut here. Jordan, money line, Jordan, submission. Jordan submission
I
is
like
what
it.
I'd say go for. This one, I think we're split on, but let's get into it. We got Molly McCann and Alexia Thainara. So, Molly McCann, hometown favorite here, coming into this one with a record of 14-7-0. She is an ugly 7-6 in the UFC, and she's coming off a decision loss to Bruna Brazil. Alexia Thainara is coming into this one with a record of 11-1-0. It's her UFC debut. She's taking it pretty last minute as well. She hasn't fought since September 2024 in Dana White's Contender Series. And one thing to note here is that her only loss is to Bruna Brazil, Molly McCann's most recent loss.
Yeah, I feel like you got Molly McCann on this one, but to be honest, there's nothing about this fight that I really like for Molly McCann. She was supposed to fight Estela Nunez, and now on 8 days' notice, she has to fight Alexa Thainara. Estela Nunez was 0-4 in the UFC, so I think that prep is like a little bit different. Molly's lost 3 of her last 4. She was probably getting set up for a nice victory in front of the home crowd, and now instead she needs to fight Thainara, who's got a good record. She looked good coming up, and I don't know. I might be a Molly hater here, but I don't really like this matchup for her. She probably went through a confident camp thinking she's going to run through Nunez, and now she faces a submission threat, and I think Thainara could maybe outstrike Molly as well.
So it's possible. It's possible. The reach advantage is there for Alexia, and it's quite significant. She also held the reach advantage to Bruna Brazil and lost by submission, I believe it was. At least Molly had the balls to take it to decision. She got it to go to the scorecards. I mean, Scousers don't get knocked out, but they also don't get submitted either, it seemed like in that one. I think Molly's hungry for the W. Like you said, they were definitely setting her up for a win against her last opponent who had to back out 0-4 in the UFC in the hometown of England for Molly. They were definitely setting her up for a win. Nice little rebound for her. I still think that's the case. I could get bit in the ass brutally by this, but I still think that's the case. As like Jordan, hometown crowd in London, she's very hungry, and I just see her as a bit tougher of a fighter. Like I said, she was able to bring it to the scorecards with Bruna Brazil. Alexia got straight up submitted by Bruna, so oh, it might
Yeah,
bite me in the ass, like I said, but I'm going with Meatball. And like, how many days notice is Alexia coming into this one?
8, I
Alexia.
think.
8 days notice. Yeah. So what the hell was she doing in the meantime? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. She's an up and comer. Maybe she was in good shape. I don't know.
She's
I'm
in.
going Thainara money line.
She is an up and comer. The books are favoriting her. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Has she been a
Yeah,
world champion in any of her other things? I believe so. I see her with a belt around her waist right now. So
we will see on Saturday. I
we
also
will
like
see on
Thainara
Saturday.
submission. Plus 400 for submission, I think is not bad, or like 5 times your money. I don't know,
Not
worth a sprinkle.
not gonna happen. Molly Meatball, boys. Molly Meatball. All right,
See on
let's
Saturday.
move into more of the heavy hitters here. We got Gunnar Nelson and Kevin Holland up next, which I know for a fact we're split on this one. Gunnar Nelson is coming into this one with a record of 19-5-1. He's 10-5 in the UFC. 17 of his wins come from finish, with 13 coming by submission. Wow. He finds himself on a 2-fight win streak with a submission win in his last. Now, Kevin Holland is coming into this one with a record of 26-13-0. He is, I believe, 12-10-0 with 1 no contest in the UFC. Something very impressive about Kevin Holland is he has 22 wins by finish, 8 submission, and 14 KO TKO wins. But he's coming into this one off 2 straight losses, 1 a TKO and another one a submission. We all know Kevin takes the edge in terms of height and reach, and he's shown that he can get it done in any fashion. Obviously, preferring a finish, but I personally believe the Kevin Holland show is done.
That's fair. Yeah, I think this one, my pick could be very sketchy for this, and I went back and forth on this for a while. And part of me, yes, sees Kevin Holland probably getting choked out in the first round, but I think with this fight being at 170, we'll see a little bit better takedown defense out of Kevin Holland. I think Holland's been more active than Gunnar Nelson. He's been fighting a little bit better competition, in my opinion. Like you said, he's got a reach and height advantage. He's got a 9-inch reach advantage and a 4-inch height advantage. He's got better striking probably than Gunnar Nelson, and I don't think grappling and his takedown defense is definitely questionable. And he might only have 1 win in his last 5 fights, but I think he's going to pick up another win here on Saturday against Gunnar Nelson at welterweight. And Kevin Holland money line, I think it's even money right now, plus 100 or 2 times your money. So I'm going to ride with Kevin. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but
he's sitting at plus 102. I don't know why either. We've both been picking him in all of his last fights and getting brutally burned by him. Parlay's getting wrecked by him. It seems like the UFC is kind of doing him a favor by setting him up against Gunnar, who hasn't fought in 2 years. But I don't know. I can't see Kevin getting it done. I truly think his time is done. I can honestly see him getting submitted by Gunnar in this one and taking an exit from the UFC. Not an exit that he is going to initiate, but I think I can see that happening pretty clearly. I don't know.
yeah, if he loses, he's done.
Yeah, I got Gunnar on this one.
I got
Did you see?
Trailblazer.
Did you see Charles Oliveira? He announced to all Conor McGregor fans to just give up. He's not coming back. Move on.
No, but I believe it.
I believe that too, man. I don't think Conor's ever coming back. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. Let's look into our co-main event. We got Jan Blachowicz and Carlos Ulberg. Jan, the man, is coming into this one with a record of 29-10-1, 12-7-1 in the UFC. He's coming off a decision loss to Pereira and shoulder surgery, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another fighter who hasn't fought in 2 years, but he has 18 wins by finish, 9 from each TKO and submission. Carlos coming into this one with a record 12-1-0. He is 7-1 in the UFC. He lost his UFC debut, being his only loss, and since then went on a 7-fight win streak. 8 wins by finish, 7 by KO, TKO, 1 by submission. Yeah, it's a bad spot for Jan.
Yeah. And no disrespect to one of the like light heavyweight greats here, but I'm gonna go with Carlos Ulberg. Blachowicz hasn't fought since 2023. He's 42. He's coming off surgery, and he has to face an 11-1 Ulberg, who's quick, accurate, and is probably in his prime or near his prime. Um, so I don't know. It pains me to not take Blachowicz here, but I was telling you earlier, I learned my lesson last week taking guys coming off of extended leaves for shoulder surgeries. So Vittori let me down. I'm not going to let Jan Blachowicz do the same thing. So Ulberg opened at like minus 190 here. He's down to like minus 300. So I don't love the value, but I do think he gets it done. I'm going to go Ulberg money line.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that you said that I can disagree with. Like you said, you learned last week seeing Marvin. We all saw that, who is coming off the shoulder injury as well. Jan hasn't fought in 2 years. You got Carlos, who's 8 years his younger, on a 7-fight win streak. He's hungry. I mean, don't get me wrong. No disrespect to Jan, like you said, absolutely none. When you first told me the odds, I was like, hell yeah, I'm all over Jan. Until I started looking into him further, and I started to lean more towards Carlos. It sucks. I mean, honestly, anything can happen. Jan could just land that one punch and fucking knock him out, but I see it all going Carlos's way in this one.
Nice. Yeah. I agree.
How many do we agree on so far? 1.
3. Well, you don't know about your first one, but if you're going Morgan,
we're going Morgan 3. Yeah. Okay. All right.
If you go Wood, then 2.
Yeah. I don't know. Still undecided. I was actually just looking at it a minute ago, but still undecided. All right. We're both on Carlos. It's time to move on to the main event. We have Leon Edwards and Sean Brady. Leon Edwards is coming into this one with a record of 22-4-0 with 1 no contest. He's an impressive 14-3-0 with 1 no contest in the UFC. He's coming off a loss. He lost the belt to Belal Muhammad, as we all know. And now he's trying to recoup his chance to get the title back. He has 10 wins by finish, 7 by KO, and 3 by submission. Sean Brady, on the other hand, is coming into this one with a record of 17-1-0. He's 7-1 in the UFC. He also lost to Belal Muhammad, but he also has won 2 more fights since then. He has 8 finishes, 3 by KO, TKO, and 5 by submission. It's worth noting that Leon holds a height and reach advantage in this one. Not by much, but definitely enough to make a difference. His first fight since losing the belt. What do you think? I know what I think. What do you think?
Well, I think both of these guys 4-1 in their last 5, both great fighters. I think this one again probably comes down mostly to who's able to bring the fight a little bit more into their style. I know Brady's a better grappler. Like Leon hasn't had bad grappling recently by any means, but Brady, I would say, is a better grappler. Obviously was an undefeated 15-0 up until a couple of fights ago, and now he's won 2 since. So being 17-1, having those 2 wins since his only professional loss, has him back into a groove where Leon's coming off of a loss presently. I don't know. I think Brady's able to find the win here, probably by decision. Brady on the money line is 1.61 or about like minus 180. I think I'm going to side with that. How about you?
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. Completely agree. I mean, I saw a comment about on this fight. Someone was talking about this fight. I saw a comment and it said it really just depends on which Leon is going to show up. And another one responded to it and he said, as a Leon fan, we all know that only one Leon shows up with a bunch of laughing faces next to it. So I don't know. We've seen Leon fight. I'm not taking any shade to him. He's a great fighter. Some could say, yeah, I don't know. Some could say he is one of the better ones in this division. You wouldn't be wrong, but yeah, no, I'd have to sit with Sean Brady. I wouldn't take him by any finish in particular. I'd probably just read the money line like you, but it's Sean Brady for sure.
Yeah, Leon's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong, but I think Sean Brady edges this one out.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Ilya Topuria getting an immediate title shot at Islam Makhachev? Do you think that's disrespect to Islam and all the other fighters in that division, or what?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't think it got agreed to, which is good. And then I saw he wanted to fight Charles, and then
Nah,
Charles wasn't going to fight him either.
Charles, yeah, he has not earned to fight either of those two fighters in that division. He's got to fight a couple other ones, I'd say, but that's up for Dana and the matchmakers to decide, right?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'd like to see him fight Charles because I think Charles would win that.
I do too, and we'll probably see it happen, just maybe not in the next 6 months. I think his first fight will be up against somebody else. I'd actually have to pull up the rankings in that division, but
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who
like,
ends
come
up
on,
taking it.
Justin, Dustin, Max Holloway, Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler, Matsuz Gemrot, Benil Dariush. Yeah, there's a lot of guys he would have to fight before going up to that guy. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it is a stacked division. I don't know. Featherweight's kind of weak, but yeah, lightweight's. I don't know. It's got a lot of vets in there too. You gotta
Yeah, I
fight
mean,
somebody
his
else before you're gonna fight Islam.
I'd say so. Same with Charles, man. You want to challenge the champion and the number two. I mean, you're going to challenge the champion instead of Armin at number one. That's not right. It's not right at all. And you're right. The featherweight is kind of light. Like his biggest threat was Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway. Diego Lopez maybe, but Movsar
Yeah,
Evloev. I don't know. I don't know. I think he's pretty crazy if he thinks he's going to get an immediate title shot.
yeah. And I get that he vacated a title, but I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Does not matter. You could have kept it. Been two the two-weight class champ, just like McGregor was. All
Yeah,
right, guys, that's it for us today. If you haven't already, code SPRINGFEVER at lockcity.gg. Use that code to apply 70% discount to either the weekly or monthly package. And thunderpick.io, use our promo link tinyurl.com/lcthunder to get a 100% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $600. They accept most cryptocurrencies, credit card, and Visa debit. Take care, guys. Best of luck on all your bets, and get ready for the madness.